done just over 80 hours on my 2024 KTM 300 TBI now, and I thought it'd be a good time to talk about some things I like and don't like about it. So a long-term review. I guess I'll start with the suspension. Suspension, easily the best stock suspension I've had on a bike, especially the fork. The closed cartridge 2024 Explore, I think is really good, and I'm still riding it with the stock settings, and yeah, I think the main things I like, feels really stable, it stays high in the stroke, which helps with plushness. It doesn't go through the stroke quickly, and really inspires confidence when riding off-road. Can pretty much handle any of the sort of terrain that I typically ride, which tends to be more mountain technical terrain. Obviously if you're doing motocross style riding, you might feel a little bit different about it, but I think in general, for the majority of people, they'll like the fork. The rear shock isn't bad, but I think there is room for improvement. So I do plan on putting a bladder in it instead of the plastic piston, and maybe change the valving as well. So I've got that planned out. I'll be doing that probably in the next month or so. Moving on to engine. So engine stock is pretty good. Very usable power, feels linear. The problem I had with mine was it felt very rich down low, and kind of had a stumble, a burble, which I found annoying. And yeah, I wanted to tune it out, but stock, there's no way of adjusting the tuning, and I was running the latest map. So what I ended up doing was purchasing a two-stroke performance power kit with the ERM, and that made a huge difference. And the two-stroke performance map I'm still running with the stock settings. I haven't actually adjusted any of the settings. So highly recommend the two-stroke performance map. So you basically have two choices. You can either get your ECU flashed, or like I did, you can purchase the ERM, which allows you to flash back the stock map if you want to. But you can also do tuning, so you can tune the fuel, ignition, and also power valve settings. Really handy. Also you can read and reset ECU codes, again very handy. And you can also read out engine information like RPM, temp, and also the throttle position sensor voltage and other things. So really handy tool to have. I'd recommend if you have the funds to get the ERM tool. What else? Chassis. A lot of people say, well, not a lot of people say, some people say the chassis is very stiff. I don't really feel that. For this riding it feels fine. And I'm not feeling any harshness anyway. Maybe that has to do with the suspension settings. I'm guessing some people with the EXC, which has different suspension, might be feeling that more. But yeah, I like the chassis. Feel right at home on it. It's not a huge difference to previous year models regarding the layouts, and I find it very comfortable chassis. What mods have I made? Very few. still using the stock handlebars. I did change the triple clamps to X-Tree. I like those. I've been using them for quite a few years now. The main thing I like is they hold the fork tubes very securely and help prevent them getting twisted in a crash. And for that reason, I think they're worth it. Also offers more handlebar position, so it has 3 holes in the top clamp. I like the handlebar mounting system as well. It uses 12mm bolts instead of the stock 10mm ones, which are less likely to get bent in a heavy crash. So I really like the X-Tree. What else? See, I'm running a factory KTM non-slip seat like that. Foot pegs, I did change my foot pegs to some titanium ones, which are 5mm down, 5mm back. I have a video about those. Really nice pegs, expensive, but hopefully will last, and they're still nice and sharp, provide excellent grip compared to the stock pegs. Other than that, the chassis, I haven't really made any changes other than adding protection bits and pieces. So yeah. What else? Lighting. Huge improvement, front light. Now has LED headlight for a stock light. Everything is excellent. Huge improvement over previous lights. So I'm still running the stock light, which is fine for my riding. If you're doing more high-speed stuff at night, you might want to upgrade to something brighter. On the rear, the tail section design has been improved a lot to make it a lot simpler to work on. So yeah, compared to previous models, it's very nice and easy to work on. The bike overall actually, nice and easy. Other stuff, map switch is new. I use it very little. I run in a green map most of the time. If it's very slippery, I do change it to the white map. But most of the time the green map works well for my riding, and the power is good, nice and linear, no surprises at all. What else? One thing I wish the hadn't have introduced or continued for this is oil injection. So I deleted my oil injection, have a video on that if you're interested in that. I just prefer using premix. For me, it's no hassle at all, and I consider premix more reliable than using a oil injection pump and having to maintain that. yeah, I just prefer premix. So I don't value the convenience of all injection. But the good thing about TBI is it's very easy to delete the oil injection. Basically, just the easiest way is to unplug the oil pump and plug in a resistor dongle into the connector to fool the ECU into thinking there's still an oil pump attached, and run premix. So very easy to switch over. I removed the whole system, but yeah, you don't need to do that if you don't want to. So I've had very few problems. One was the stock battery died very early. Disappointed in that. I made a video about that. Completely dead. Possibly the circuit inside the battery, something went wrong with it. So it still shows voltage output, but you apply a load and the voltage drops right down. So I had to replace the battery. Not good. The other problem I had was with the coolant hose on the lower right side, just behind the pipe here. I had a crash, smash the pipe in. It pressed against the hose and the flange and punctured the hose. That wasn't good. I lost coolant. I had to finish the ride early. So that prompted me to make an upgraded hose, silicone one, which I do sell on the Tokyo Off-Road web shop if you want to purchase one of up there. Love the power on the bike, especially with the TSP map. I didn't mention when I was talking about it before, I also replaced the head with a TSP medium compression head. The combination of the map and the head work really well. Super linear power, very easy to control. Basically got power anywhere you need it. It lugs really well and pulls out nicely as well. So no complaints for power. For this sort of riding, it is absolutely ideal, I think. And most of the other mods I made are protection parts. I got Cycra handguards, BRP handguard mounts. Really like these. They bolt on to the handlebar support, very secure. I got a TMD front fork guards. These work really well if you're riding rocks. Highly recommend those. TMD skid plate, TMD brake guards, TMD chain guide, excellent piece, and bulletproof designs, chain guide strengthener, TMD chain guide or slider. I did change my gearing. I'm running 1350, which I find great for this sort of terrain. If you want to stay with the stock 45, I would recommend using a 12 if you run in similar terrain. And then I've got a couple of bulletproof designs guards here, one for the throttle body, one for the power valve. A little bit, especially the throttle body is quite open to getting damaged from sticks and rocks. If you dropped it onto a rock here, could damage the throttle position sensor. And then recently I just fitted these crosslink components, swing arm guards. Second ride on them, working really well. The unique thing is the mounting system at the rear stops the guard sliding back and being pulled off easily. Separate video on that, check it out if you're interested in those. What else? The stock clutch cover, not great, not very strong. I've hauled it before I repaired it, and I'm going to be fitting some XRC covers, billet covers, both the clutch cover and the ignition cover as well. Hopefully have those in a couple of weeks from now. I'll make a video about those when I get them. What other stuff? The radiator cap, the stock cap, not really sure why they changed the design. The old style was very easy to operate and never had any problems. The new one is a lot smaller, but a lot more difficult to operate by hand. You can do it, I've done it by hand, but I do have a tool, and certainly if I'm at home I'll grab my tool to take it off. But yeah, that's just a small thing. Fan, I have no idea why the bikes don't come fitted stock with a fan. I know the hard enduro model comes with a fan, but I think all the models should come with a fan. I prefer the one with a digital display, and I did a mod so that the fan switches off when the engine stops running to save battery power. Normally you would connect it directly to the battery. I connected it via the KTM off-road control module. Separate video on that if you're interested in that mod. Clutch and brakes, really good. Brembo units, no complaints. I did switch out the 10mm master clutch for a 9mm unit, which has easier pull, and I recommend that for especially anyone that has large hands, doesn't mind a increase in lever travel to make that mod. It makes long rides and races that much easier, especially if you use one finger, which is what I've been doing for the past year or so. Allows me to grip the bars better. But yeah, I like the 9mm clutch. But if you have smaller hands, you might find the increase in lever travel a disadvantage. In which case, stay with the 10mm. Used on the 24 plates is the same as previous years. DDS clutch, phenomenal life, robustness, excellent unit. If you ever need to change the clutch plates, my recommendation is to stick with OEM. I don't know of any better solution, so really good.
I don't think so, not today. Have you ever taken the line down there? Because last time we were here,
no,
we saw people in there.
Oh yeah, let's try that.
Yeah, let's try that.
Yeah. I'll try a different line. We're going up here. So fuel mileage, I got really bad mileage when with the stock map, very bad. Switched to TSP and probably about the same as a TPI now, and runs so much better. So yeah, no problems for the riding I do with the stock tank, but it was a problem with the stock map for me. I'd always have to carry extra fuel if it was a day ride in a big loop, but now I don't need to do that. Also the tank, a lot of chatter about not being able to use all of the fuel. I don't have any problems with this sort of riding at all, but if you're riding on the road on a flat surface, you will not be able to use all of the fuel. You'll have like 1 or 2 litres left over, in which case the best thing to do is either do a wheelie or run up a bank and have the fuel run back into the pickup area in the centre of the tank. For me, it's not a problem. I rarely do long stretches of road. I've only had experienced that once at the end of the day. But yeah, if you do ride mostly road or flat, smooth surfaces, you might want to look into a solution which allows you to either use all of the fuel or fit a different fuel tank. So in summary, I really like the 2024 300 TBI. It's an awesome bike and I highly recommend it to anyone thinking about getting one. Obviously, like any bike, not perfect. Good to know before you buy one what issues you can have and how much money it's going to take to fix it if you do want to fix it. But yeah, love it.